Hi, it's Hope and welcome to the video. This video is going to be about every single book I hauled in 2024 because I did do a book haul in like the first half of the year, like in February or March, but I don't remember what books I left off on, and I did buy quite a few books. If you hear any background noise, my cat is playing with boxes that are in my room that I need to pack, but I wanted to film this so that I can pack up these books, because as you can see, this is one of the stacks of the books I've hauled because I have no room on my shelves to put them on. So I want to get them packed and out of the way. These will be in no particular order. There is also a chance that I'm missing some. So this is literally just the order that I have them stacked. So honestly, it's the ones that were in my living room, and then everything else is what was just stacked in my bedroom over the months. I will tell you where I got them from and if I've read them and if I haven't read them type thing, but I'm not really going to go into the books because there is quite a few. So we'll start off with The Serpent's Shadow by Rick Riordan, which is the third book in the Kane Chronicles. I want to eventually own all of Rick Riordan's like books that take place in like the Percy Jackson universe. So I got this at I think at my library's book sale in the spring, I believe. And I haven't read it yet. The next I think I also got at my library's book sale or some sort of book sale in my town is The Son of Neptune by Rick Riordan, which is the second book in the Heroes of Olympus series. I have read this book, not this copy, but I've read it in the past, and again, it's the same of wanting to own all the books. I don't really care if I have the dust jackets or not. These ones, I think I paid like $1 each, so whatever. This next book I know I included in my haul in, again, I think it was like February or March or whatever, but we're still going to include it. That is The Dare by Harley Laroux. This my friend Sam sent me for my birthday last year. So thank you, Sam. I have read this. I read this before she got it for me. It is just a little novella, but I need to buy the rest of the books in this series. That'll be a goal for 2025. The next is Heartstopper Volume 5 by Alice Oseman. Technically, I haven't read this because I read them when they were being posted on Patreon. So I technically haven't sat down and read this, but I have read the story, if that makes any sense. This one I think was also in my last haul, but little mention. And the next is also a Heartstopper book. It is Heartstopper Volume 4 by Alice Oseman. This is the Fairy Loot edition. So yeah, and I've read this, not this copy, but I've read the book in the other copies I have. Next is Iron Flame by Rebecca Yarros. This is the second book in the, what is this series called? In the Imperium series, and this I got at a secondhand bookstore when I went on a trip in June. And have I read the first book? No. Do I own the first book? Yes. This is the case of me buying a series that I haven't started yet, but I saw it and I think it was like $10, so cheaper than buying it brand new. So I was like, you're coming home with me. The next 3 books are all part of the same series, and they are The Foxhole Court, The Raven King, and The King's Men, all by Nora Sakavic. And these were special editions that were created by Rainbow Crate. This is also the first time that the author has been involved in any sort of special edition and has signed the books. So I had to get these. This is one of my favorite series, so I had to get them, and I love the way they look. The next book is Bride by Ali Hazelwood. I have not read this. I want to, but this I got at Indigo, one of the many times. I think I got this in July when I went to the bookstore, I think. And the next book is Blade Breaker by Victoria Aveyard, which is the second book in the Realm Breaker series. I read Realm Breaker a couple years ago when it first came out. I liked it. Not enough to immediately pick up book 2 when it came out. And now there's a third book. But when I was at the bookstore, I think last month? No, it would have been November. I had to get it because it was $6. And I did like the series enough to want to continue it. I would have to reread book 1. But also, I love the cover, so might as well. The next is If Only I Had Told Her by Laura Nowlin. This is the sequel to If He Had Been With Me. And have I read that? No. Have I heard good things about it? Yes. This one I got off of Facebook Marketplace for $5. So, and it's basically brand new. So I was like, ooh, that's a steal in my opinion. The next is One of Us Is Lying by Karen M. McManus. This I have read. And this I got at there was just a book sale in my town. So I saw it and I was like, I like that. I want to own it. So I bought it. And it was only like $1.50, $2, something like that. So quite cheap. And at the same book sale, I got With the Fire on High by Elizabeth Acevedo, which I've heard really good things about this, and I'm wanting to diversify my reading a bit more, and I've heard good things about this, so I figured grab it because, again, it was like that $1.50, $2, something like that. I can't remember how much I paid exactly, and I'm not looking at my spreadsheet, but it was like only a couple bucks, so I grabbed it. The next book is Pucking Sweet by Emily Rath, which is the third book in the Jacksonville Race series. You will see other books in this series later on. But this, I got it when it came out. I have read this, really liked it. The next 2 books I got at a thrift store when I went to visit my cousin for Thanksgiving. And so it is An Absolutely Remarkable Thing by Hank Green. Is this normally what I would read? No. But it was 25 cents. And I kind of want to start reading outside my comfort zone a bit. And I have heard good things about this, the few things I have heard. So maybe I'll read it. If not, whatever. And the next one is Radiance by Grace Draven. And I have not read this, but it is a fantasy romance, which sign me up for. I have heard good things about this. I was really shocked to find it, so I had to grab it because I do love the cover, and even if I don't read it, I will keep it for the cover, honestly. The next book is Five Brothers by Penelope Douglas. I have not read this, but I'm dying to. This I bought from Indigo, I believe is where I bought it. I think so. Next is Celestial Monsters by Anna Thomas, which is the sequel to The Sunbearer Trials, which is just right up there, actually. I have not read this. I need to. It is definitely one I'm going to get to in 2025 because I love it. I loved the first book, and so I need to read this. I need to really bad. Next is The Pairing by Casey McQuiston. I have heard controversial things about this, but I had it pre-ordered, and I didn't realize the controversial things until after my pre-order had arrived. Oops. But yeah, it has sprayed edges. Is that the right way? Nope, that's the right way. I have not read this yet. I don't know when I'm going to read it, but I own it. Next is A Fire in the Flesh by Jennifer L. Armentrout. And this is the third book in the Flesh and Fire series. I believe it's book 3. Yes, it's book 3. So haven't read this. I need to catch back up with this series. I'm a couple books behind in the whole Flesh and Fire, Blood and Ash world, so I need to catch up. Then we have Rhapsodic by Laura Thalassa. I technically have read this 2 years ago. I really enjoyed it, but I never actually continued it, and they now have new covers, so I think I went to the bookstore and I had my boyfriend pick between, I was like, pick one or two, because I couldn't decide between this and, I think it was actually between this and this, he picked this, and then I bought this, I think, a couple weeks later online. But yeah, I need to reread it. I loved this book when I read it, but I need to continue the series, and so I got the physical copy to maybe encourage me to read it more because I'll actually see it on my shelf. Next is King of Sloth by Anna Huang, which is the 4th book in the Kings of Sin series. I have not read this. I'm currently reading book 3, so hopefully I'll get to book 4 this year. Next is Savage Lover by Sophie Lark, which is book 3 in the Brutal Birthright series. I've read the first 2. This is the next one I need to read. Next is Unravelby by Becca Mack, which is the 3rd book. Yeah, it's the 3rd book in the... I don't know what the series is called. But these were really popular on Book Talk at one point. You'll also see later on in this video another book in the series. But I haven't read this. And actually, I'll pull up the next book, which is Consider Me, which is book 1. So now I own book 1 and book 3, I believe. Again, me doing the thing where I'm buying multiple books in a series without even starting it. Oopsies. So the next book is Not in Love by Ali Hazelwood. I have not read this. Although my brain for a second there was like, did I read this? Did I not read this? So I literally had to look up on Goodreads if I read it. I definitely did not. I think I put it on multiple TBRs and I meant to read it, and that's why my brain was like, did I actually get around to reading it? I need to, though. I loved everything I've read by Ali Hazelwood, so maybe eventually I'll read it. Who knows? We're down to like under 10. The next is Still With Me by Jessica Consolo. This is the 3rd book in the With Me series, which was originally a Wattpad series. I had read these on Wattpad. I really liked them, but the author changed some of the storylines a little bit, so now I need to reread these. I bought this at a romance bookstore when I went on the same trip that I mentioned that I got Iron Flame. I also forgot to mention, I also got these 2 at that bookstore and this at that bookstore, and then one more, but I don't remember exactly which one it was. But I have not read this. I need to. I think maybe in the summer I might try to just binge read this whole series because I own the other 2 books. They're in my living room. But yeah, this was a used copy. It was $7.50 and it literally it doesn't even look like it's been read. So I saved myself money buying it. Next is Butcher and Blackbird by Brynne Weaver, and this is a dark romance that I have not read, but it has had its like go-arounds on Book Talk and BookTube, and so I wanted to join the hype. Have I read it? No, that's the theme of this. I have not read a lot of these, honestly. Oopsies. And these next 2 add to my buying series before I've read book 1, because, which is the right order? Because the next ones are The Heart of Betrayal and The Beauty of Darkness by Mary E. Pearson, which is the 2nd and the 3rd book in the Revenant Chronicles series. I own the 1st book, which is The Kiss of Deception. Have I read it? No. But these were cheap at that secondhand bookstore that I also got Iron Flame. That trip I went a little bit hard with buying books, but oopsies. The next book is The Lies of Locke Lamora by Scott Lynch. This book I do think I'm going to actually unhaul because I bought this beginning of the year at a local thrift store. But in reality, I don't think I'm going to read it. But I haven't fully decided. I will give myself the next like month-ish while I'm packing to decide if I'm taking it or not, or if I'm going to try to rehome it. But like I've heard such good things, but I am not that big of a fantasy girly anymore. Especially like adult high fantasy, so I don't know. And we're down to the final 2, although there's probably a few missing if I'm being honest. I don't know. But that is Say You Swear by Megan Brandy, which is a romance book that my friend Clint loves. I've had this on so many TBRs. I need to read it. But because my friend Clint loved it, it was his favorite book of 2023, I believe. So I need to read it. I just need to. And then the final book is Pucking Around by Emily Rath. I love this book. I've read it multiple times. I think I've read it twice. But I needed a physical copy. I also have Pucking Wild somewhere, but I think I got that in 2023, which is book 2. I don't know. It might be missing from this pile. I don't know. But yeah, those are, I think, all the books I hauled in 2024. There might be a few that are just scattered around that I forgot to write on my spreadsheet. But yeah, I just wanted to do this so I can actually get these books packed, if I'm being honest, because I move in, when you're seeing this, about a month, and I have 1 box packed. And I have to pack my entire room pretty much. So yeah, this is gonna be fun. Yeah, let me know what is, let's say, the favorite book that you hauled in 2024, or which one of these books I should read that I haven't. Let me know in the comments below. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you did. So yeah, but I hope to see you next time. Bye!